Hi, my name is Monica Yearwood, and I'm the founder of Hamza Ayurveda, and I want to talk with you today about 5 important intestinal healers that you should have in your diet on an ongoing basis, and especially be using in the case that digestive imbalance has manifested. So in Ayurveda, digestion is the epicenter of the immune system, and it is incredibly important to keep our digestion healthy and vital. There's much research that's coming out today that proves how digestion plays a huge part, has a huge relationship in almost all the physiological processes in the body, but also in our actual behavior and our physical health as well as our mood. So 5 important intestinal healers to keep as part of your diet and definitely to be using in the event that digestion has become imbalanced include ghee, spices, a category of herbs called mucilages, probiotics, and natural antibiotics. So when we're keeping the digestion healthy, we want to make sure that we're including a lot of good fats in our diet. So that includes things like sesame oil, avocado, coconut oil, but especially ghee. So Ayurveda really loves ghee, but there's a lot of clinical information that has come out about ghee and its health benefits, especially to the GI tract itself. Ghee has a lot of conjugated fatty acid, or CLA, as well as butyrate acid, and both of those play a really important part in keeping the digestion healthy. Ghee has a lot of anti-inflammatory effects, specifically in the stomach and the small intestine. The butyrate acid in ghee keeps peristalsis, so the intestinal wave, which we need to swallow and eliminate our food. It helps to keep it in line and keep it healthy, so the cells actually in our GI tract depend on butyrate acid in order to do peristalsis, and ghee is one of the very few foods that we have on the planet that actually contains butyrate acid. So ghee you can include in your diet very easily just by cooking with it, by topping your food with it. Another way is by making a ghee drink. So first thing in the morning, you take 1 teaspoon of ghee and you mix it with a half a cup or a cup of water and drink it on an empty stomach and wait about a half an hour after you drink it before eating it again. The next thing that you want to include in your diet is a category of herbs called mucilages. And if you listen to the word mucilage, you can hear mucus in it. So mucilage is a category of herbs that helps to repair the mucus lining in our GI tract, as well as the mucus lining in our lungs. So there are 3 very easy to access herbs that are mucilages that you can pick up from practically any natural grocery store: licorice root, marshmallow root, and slippery elm. And all 3 of these tend to have a very cooling, anti-inflammatory effect. They tend to have a very mild laxative effect. So for somebody that's constipated, they may give him or her some relief to the constipation. It's not so strong that it would cause loose bowel in somebody that has healthy digestion though. The next thing that you want to, and you can just very easily include those in your diet by just drinking teas on a regular basis. So anywhere from 2 to 6 cups a day. Again, we're more or less talking about lifestyle here rather than using these herbs or these practices for their strong medicinal component like you may do if you were in a committed intestinal healing program. The next thing that you would want to include in your diet is spices. So spices are like nature's digestive enzymes. They help us to break down the foods that we're eating. And for many of us in American diet, there tends to be a deficit of using an array of spices. One thing to be cautious of though is if you have some kind of digestive disturbance that is heat related. So colitis, Crohn's disease, all of your inflammatory bowel diseases can be provoked by heating spices. And when we say heating spices, we're talking about spices that are pungent in nature. A pungent spice is something that actually increases the temperature of heat in your mouth. So all of your peppers are pungent to some degree. Cayenne pepper is much more pungent than white pepper, but both of them are pungent. Garlic, onion, those also tend to have pungent qualities. Probiotics. By now it's old news that we all need an array of probiotics in our diet. Our ancestors for thousands and thousands of years used fermentation methods to preserve food during famine, during winter, and in so doing created these live probiotic cultures which we ate and then replenished our internal microbiota with the invention of modern preservation methods such as pasteurization. We've killed the natural probiotics that we once ate for thousands of years, coupled with over-antibiotic use and over-sterility in our environments. We've done a number to our digestive systems. So making sure that you're getting adequate probiotic materials in your diet on a regular basis is important. And that can be anything from eating yogurts to kefir to fermented vegetables like sauerkraut or kimchi. If you do have a digestive imbalance that's already manifested, chances are that you're going to have to start a little bit slower and lower on the probiotic material. You'll know if it's a problem if you eat some of it and you experience a reaction like gas, irritability, or loose bowel. So if that happens, then you want to stave back a little bit. You could start off as little as a tablespoon a day and gradually work up. Just remember what you're doing. You're introducing a live probiotic bacteria culture into your gut. So you're changing your intestinal flora. So if there's some kind of a disturbance there, probably it's going to be a little bit discomforting when you start to eat those foods again. So just starting slow and increasing gradually over time is a good thing. At the same time, you want to include natural antibiotics in your diet. And those are things like, well, many of the Italian herbs and spices are natural antibiotics. Thyme, oregano, basil, those have natural antibiotic components. And the great thing about nature's antibiotics is that they don't have the side effects or do quite the amount of damage that a pharmaceutical grade antibiotic can do. Other natural antibiotics include things like clove. In fact, clove is probably one of the strongest. So using clove in a tea mix or drinking clove on its own, making some kind of a mulled spice, apple cider, or wine even, can help to introduce clove into your diet and your digestive tract. Again, if you have some kind of digestive disturbance, eating a lot of natural antibiotics can also be provoking. So for many people who feel a strong aversion to things like garlic and onion, they say like, I just eat a little bit, and they feel like a strong, sick reaction quite soon after they consume those things. That can indicate that there's some kind of imbalance of bacteria or in yeast, and they're experiencing what is known as die-off. That die-off can make you feel sick. So I hope that this information helps you in your path to health and wellness. Thank you so much for your time, and namaste.